Fantastic. It looks like we've got everyone in from the waiting room. We've got the microphones figured out. So without further ado, I do call this special session of the Texas A&M University 73rd session of the Student Senate to order on April 28th, 2021 at 6:09 p.m. in a hybrid format. Begin with a period of opening remarks. I just want to start by saying just a couple of quick things. Tonight's agenda is very short. We don't have too much to do. As soon as we finish it, we will go ahead and adjourn from this meeting, but then we will reconvene for joint session at 7. So if we do get a little bit of a break between those, don't go too far. Be back in here for 7, whether you're on Zoom or in person. That's how that will work. As just a quick reminder for all of the meetings tonight in person, we are following all COVID guidelines and procedures laid out by the university. So please keep your masks on. If you have anything to drink, make sure that it is only water and water only. There's no food in the ballroom in this room. And please maintain that 6-foot social distancing at all times. Also, if you're entering and exiting, those doors over there are the doors that you can exit out of. Those doors right there are the doors you can enter in. You can't exit out those and you can't enter in those just for social distancing and making sure that we're following all of those guidelines. You've all heard that before though, so that's all I'm going to say. And I'm going to go ahead and close opening remarks and move into opening roll call led by Speaker Pro Tem Fortrossler.
All right, howdy folks.
Howdy.
Let's go ahead and get that link dropped in the chat and I'll give you guys till 6:13 to get that done. And that microphone was not on. All right, off to a great start.
All right, and as Speaker Pro Tem Fortrossler said, that will stay open for a couple more minutes, but we're going to go ahead and move on. We're going to move into a period of invocation of the pledges of allegiance led by Tyler Smith.
Okay, is this on? So I'm going to pray in a minute, but it's weird to be praying and there not be a potluck dinner involved. I'm Baptist, so. But for those of you who do pray, if you'll bow with me. God, we thank you for the opportunity to be here and thank you for each of these student senators and hope that you'll give us the discernment, God, to make the best decisions and provide for the student body in the best way that we can. Lead, guide, and direct us in the months and year to come. These things we ask in the name of your Son. Amen. Now the pledge to the American flag. I don't think we have one. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to the Texas, one state, under God, one indivisible.
Thank you, Senator Smith. We'll now move into a period of the reading of the mission statement and the Aggie Honor Code read by long and serving Senator Chair Rodriguez. It appears Chair Rodriguez is not with us today, so I believe our next longest serving senator is Iman Ahmed. Chair Ahmed, are you here with us? All right, Chris. Right, and since we cannot get a hold of Chair Ahmed,
Howdy. Hello, can y'all hear me? Thumbs up.
Chair Ahmed, can you hear me?
Yes, I do apologize. I was having
You're not getting
an
sound
issue.
in the room, so give us 1 second and then we'll get going.
Heidi, can y'all hear me?
Promise we will read the mission statement at some point tonight. And I think we just need to. All right. Chair Ahmed, can you hear us?
I can. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can. All right, we'll now go into a period of the reading of the mission statement, Aggie Honor Code, led by our longest serving senator who is present, Chair Ahmed.
Hello. You're gonna have to give me one moment. I do need to pull it up. I do apologize. I've heard it so many times, but has not been memorized, sadly. So give me one moment. I do apologize for that, y'all.
Senator Ahmed, I just sent it in the chat for you.
Thank you so much. Y'all are really coming through. Thank y'all. So with that, the Texas A&M Student Senate, Texas A&M University Student Senate represents all students in order to enhance the Texas A&M experience within our university and communities through research, legislation, advocacy, in accordance with the core values of our institution. And with that, I'm going in to read our Aggie Honor Code, which says, an Aggie does not lie, cheat, or steal, or tolerate those who do. And with that, I'll hand it back to you, Zach. Speaker McHugh.
All right, thank you, Chair Ahmed. We'll now move into a period of open forum. I believe for this portion of our meeting, we don't have anyone in open forum. Is that correct?
Not to my knowledge, unless there's.
All right, and then we'll conclude our period of open forum. We'll move into a period of the approval of 4/14/21 meeting minutes. Those meeting minutes can be found in the drive. We'll move to do this by general consent. Do I see any objections to general consent? All right, seeing no objections, those meeting minutes are approved. We'll now move into the J Court Chief Justice confirmation, the confirmation of Carissa Mcintosh for a second term in the J Court. Chief Justice Mcintosh, if I could ask you to leave the room as we hear the opinion from the subcommittee, that'd be great.
Can Zoom hear me? Okay, we'll just go with it. So howdy, guys. Chair Hein Rules and Regulations. The Judicial Court Justice Confirmation Subcommittee reconvenes once again to hear about the reappointment of Carissa Mcintosh for Chief Justice. I'll go ahead and read the consensus and then the opinions of our committee members that sat in the interview. So the consensus, we, the Judicial Court Justice Confirmation Subcommittee, recommend that the Student Senate do confirm Carissa Mcintosh as Chief Justice of the Texas A&M Judicial Court. Committee member opinions. Committee member number 1. Carissa Mcintosh has proven herself more than qualified to continue holding this position. Her desire to lead by allowing the other justices to speak first is commendable. Carissa's passion for making the judicial court more of a present body in SGA by assisting committees with bylaws shows growth within the organization. I recommend Carissa Mcintosh be reconfirmed as Chief Justice. Committee member number 2. It is my pleasure to recommend Carissa Mcintosh for the position of Chief Justice. Not only is she extremely qualified, but she is thoughtful and intentional. Everything she does with others in mind. A court under Miss McIntosh is a court that exhibits teamwork, camaraderie, and compassion. Not only does she rule by the code, but she is careful to make sure that everyone involved in a hearing is aware of the process so that all parties get a fair procedure. Ms. McIntosh is truly a leader as she works diligently to ensure that all 14 members of her team are heard and feel valued. Her transparency allows to really put our confidence in J-Court. I cannot think of anyone more deserving of Chief Justice than Carissa Mcintosh. And then committee member number 3. Carissa Mcintosh is a fantastic candidate for Chief Justice. She has had plenty of experience with the judicial court, but it is evident that she is still passionate about it. Rather than planning to take it easy her last year, she brought up other improvements she wants to ensure the success of other justices. She is more than qualified for this position, which is why I recommend she be reconfirmed. Which is why I recommend that she be reconfirmed. All of the reports, her presentation, as well as the interview video are in the drive. So if you want to reference those as she gives a presentation, feel free to do so.
Thank you, Chair Hein. And with that, we'll bring Chief Justice McIntosh back in for her presentation.
Screen share. Yes.
Right, Chief Justice McIntosh, now that we have you back here, got some feedback, I think. Now that we have you back here, I know you're setting up your presentation. When you're ready to go, your 5 minutes will start at howdy.
All right, well, howdy, Senate.
Howdy.
Howdy.
Thank you all for coming out tonight. My name is Carissa Mcintosh. If you didn't know me, that's kind of a concern. I've been here at every single meeting, but it feels great to be back. So let's jump into this. This is my 3rd time doing this, so I think I've got this down at this point. But I am a junior, class of 2022, from Spring, Texas, North Houston area, if you're not familiar with where that's at. I am an accounting major, and fun fact, my hobbies is I really love to run. I run upwards of 30 miles a week, and I promise it's actually my relaxation time. I know that sounds backwards, but you should give it a try. So for my experience, I'll go ahead and run through this really quick because this is not the important part, but outside of SGA, I'm also the president of the Pre-Law Society. I know I recognize a lot of y'all's names in all of my spreadsheets that I have. I also work as a tutor for our student athletes here on campus. It's really fun getting to teach them accounting and all kinds of other business and math concepts. I am also a student vice president for the Phi Kappa Phi Honor Society chapter here. This last semester, I was recognized as the Gathright Mays Outstanding Junior for our business school. So I've recently stepped into that role. I have been awarded the Sutherland Aggie Leader Award, and I have also been a peer leader for the Freshman Business Initiative. So with Judicial Court, I started as a freshman. I came in as a judicial advocate my fall semester of, 2018, and loved it. Definitely found my home here right away, was fortunate to meet so many friends through there, meet so many great people. So then my sophomore year, I was confirmed as a justice and was picked as the Vice Chief Justice under Chief Justice Shefali Chopra. And this last year, I was the Chief Justice for you guys. And last night, I received the Jolie Millhouse Award at our banquet, which was the biggest honor of my life, easily. And there's an old picture flashback. This was actually the first time I ever got to put the robes on. So my judicial philosophy, it's been the same every single time that I've came up before you guys, but judicial restraint, and more specifically, that textual interpretation of what is in our code. I know in one of our opinions, we outright say that the job of the judicial court is to interpret the most recent and up-to-date code. It is not to modify it or to update it ourselves. There have been plenty of times where we've looked at something and been like, wow, this is really old. This maybe should be changed or updated. Especially this last year with so much changing to the online format. But it's our job to look at what is there. I always say I applied to be a justice. I did not run to be a senator. No offense to you guys. But this is what I love doing. I love interpreting and making sure that all of the rules are followed properly. So if you don't believe me, take my word for it. Here are 4 opinions that I have been a lead author on. So first, 7201, last spring semester, we heard a case, and then we heard 3 this last fall semester, Sangerhausen, Wynn, and Javier. So just a quick run through of all of those. 7201, we basically stated that nowhere in the code did it give us the power to overrule the election commissioner and let someone run based off of extenuating circumstances. As a result of that, the rules were actually changed, and judicial court now does have the power to overrule her decision or his decision based off of extenuating circumstances. So then that was brought back up again in the fall, where someone had extenuating circumstances, asked us to invoke that clause. And it was actually one of the most exciting cases that I've had, because it was kind of like, well, now we have the power to do it. So when should we do that? You know, what are the bounds that we should set on this? So I actually authored this opinion for 7301, where we kind of set the bounds on how the court should use caution going forward with when it is acceptable to use that, and kind of set some of the groundwork out for that, which we did not overrule the election commissioner on that one, if you were wondering and did not know. And then 7302, we did another textualist interpretation, found a loophole in the code that was recently closed in time for the spring elections. We caught that in time. And then 7303 was another one where it kind of had to do with some inconsistencies due to COVID, and one of those things that you don't know it's a problem until it's there. And that issue was also fixed as a result of our rulings. But other than that, just a reflection on what I've been able to accomplish this year. We had a fantastic, crazy, busy year this year. And I couldn't have done it without all my phenomenal justices. We heard 3 cases this year. We received 7 appeals this year. That's over double than what we've received in our 2 years combined. So it was definitely a busy year. It was a great growth opportunity for me. I got to experience so much getting to lead all of these people. And my biggest thing whenever I came into this role was I didn't want this role to be about me. This wasn't my time to, grab the reins and do what I wanted. It was my time to be a mentor to every single justice on the court and make sure that they were getting their full potential. Over the summer, before we even started back up at school, I had a one-on-one meeting with every single justice and asked them what they wanted to get out of their year on judicial court and what I could do to best help them. Different people have different goals. Some people were like, I want to be your vice chief justice. I want to have some kind of leadership role. And some people were like, I just kind of want to, learn about what you guys do this year. So really being able to understand what every single person needed from me and see how I could best help them as a leader. That is part of the reason why this last year, or this last session, whenever it came time to appoint a new chief justice, I took a back seat for a little bit, and I wanted to give all of my other justices who wanted it the opportunity to reach that goal, to reach what they were wanting to do. And I couldn't say that I was truly a selfless leader if I didn't give each and every one of them that opportunity to shine. But I'm back here tonight, and I am really excited to see what J-Court can do again this year. And with that, I'm open to questions.
Presenter is open for questions. Are there any questions at this time? Senator Allen.
May's Business Caucus. My question is, I know the issue has been addressed before, but what are your general opinions on authoring legislation as a J4 justice?
Yeah, so I don't believe that we are allowed to author legislation per se. I know what you're talking about signing on to resolutions, which yes, I know it was brought up that it doesn't fall within our jurisdiction, but our advisor, Amy Lloyd, has done a phenomenal job of drilling it into all of our minds that you don't touch anything outside. You have to be really cautious about what you put out there, because should we get a case, could somehow be linked back to it, then it's a big fiasco. They're saying, well, they said this about this, so then they link it to that. So I always teach all of our justices to be extremely cautious about what they say and what they do, not just about SGA stuff, because it goes very far reaching beyond that. So we really don't ever touch resolutions. I signed on to the pass fail resolution because SVP Mendoza and Speaker McHugh called me and asked me to. They wanted that united front from SGA. So I texted all of our justices and said, hey, they're wanting me to do this. What do you guys think? Because it's not just whenever my name goes on it, yeah, it says my name, but it's me on behalf of the court. So I spoke with all of them about it, but that wasn't the first time I was asked to sign on to something. I've shot them down a few times and said, no, I just think it's a little too close to that boundary where I'm not comfortable putting my name on it. I hope that answered your question.
Chair T.
Hey, comments. Question is simple for you, Ms. McIntosh. Have you ever used expletives to express your political opinion on social media?
Never.
Are there any other questions? Seeing no further questions, that will conclude our period of question and answer. Chief Justice McIntosh, if you would please step out again as we go into a period of debate and voting. All right, we'll go ahead and begin with that period of debate. We'll do this the same way that we have done this at the last meeting. So we're going to have 3 rounds of debate. Each round is going to consist of 2.5 minutes of debate. 2.5 for and 2.5 against. And we'll begin with a debate for this candidate for Chief Justice. Do I see any debate at this time for this candidate? And with 2.5 minutes remaining in that period, we're going to go ahead and go to debate against. Do I see any debate against at this time? Seeing no debate against, I believe that debate has now become one-sided, and therefore that will conclude our period of debate. And we'll move into a period of voting whether or not to confirm Carissa Mcintosh to be Chief Justice for the 74th session. That period of voting will be led by Speaker Pro Tem Fortrossler.
Go ahead and get that been tossed in the chat. Let's go ahead and get that voting in the chat. And let's get this done within 2 minutes, 6:36.
Just because I think the mic wasn't working on that table, I'll go ahead and repeat.
Sorry, technical difficulties. All right. Please get this done by 6:36.
and let's just get it done.
Told we have the results. Speaker Pro Tem Fortrossler, please go ahead.
All right. 8 of them of the evening, 38 in favor, 2 an abstention.
All right, well then by that does pass. And we have confirmed Carissa Mcintosh to be the next Chief Justice of the J Court of Texas A&M University. Justice McIntosh was also the Chief Justice of the last session. She's going to be sworn in by Student Body President Mendoza.
I, Carissa Mcintosh,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
faithfully execute to the best of your ability
to faithfully execute to the best of my ability
the duties of the office of State Office,
the duties of the office of Chief Justice
of the Texas A&M University Student Government Association,
for the Texas A&M University Student Government Association,
to uphold the honor of the same
to uphold the honor of the same
at all times, to protect the welfare of the student body,
at all times to protect the welfare of the student body
promote good relations between the students
and to promote good relations between the students
and those concerned with the university.
and those concerned with the university.
All right, congratulations once again, Chief Justice McIntosh. It's been a great year serving alongside you, and I know they're going to have a blast serving alongside you again this next year. With that, we will move into a period of closing roll call led by Speaker Pro Tem Fortrossler.
All right, let's get that tossed in the chat. Microphone is either working or not working. I don't know. So let's get that done before, honestly, before, just get it done. I don't have a timeline. I just don't have a timeline.
Okay. Well, as Speaker Pro Tem Fortrossler said, just get it done. And then as soon as that is done, we'll go ahead and adjourn. We'll probably adjourn at 6:40 just to give it a little bit of time here. And then once we adjourn, you're welcome to leave this room, to leave Zoom, whatever you need to do. I do ask though that if you stay in this room, you maintain social distancing, keep that 6 feet apart, and be back here obviously at 7 for joint session on the dot.